This video is for auction owners, managers, and auctioneers. Here is the question. Is your software company punishing you for being successful? Let's dig in. Whether you are a real estate auction, auto auction, estate sale, livestock auction, a cannabis, movie prop, vintage video game, horse, boat, or auction airplanes or castles outside of London, you all face the same problem: auction fees. We created a cost comparison calculator for auctioneers, managers, and owners to see how much they're actually spending using traditional auction software that charges per transaction fees, like buyer, seller, or user premiums. Then, we compare that total to the predictable cost of running auctions under a SaaS pricing model, like Selling Lane's monthly flat fee. It's an eye-opener for anyone still using legacy tools. Let's take a look. Okay, here we are over in Selling Lane, and under pricing, you'll find the calculator. I also included a link in the description of this video, so you should be able to find it. It's a nice short link. But anyhow, you go to the calculator, and you can see we've got a brief outline of what we're talking about here. So we think that our competitors are charging their customers, their wonderful, loyal customers, a success tax. It comes from three components: a platform tax, a buyer's tax, and a growth tax. So I have a longer video explaining this, but pretty simple. They're charging you to sell, and they're charging your buyers to buy, and in some cases they're charging you for users. And those charges combined are very, very expensive and can be quite a detriment to the success of the auction. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start off by looking at the Selling Lane fee. First, what I want you to do is select one of the Selling Lane's plans. You can pick monthly, but you'll save quite a bit by going with the yearly. So we'll just pick monthly for now to show you. And let's assume you are a ATV auction. So let's say you sell 40 a week, or times 4.3 for a full month, about 172 items. And let's say the average price of your items, if it's ATVs, it's probably going to be, $2,500. Let's do $2,500. Again, you put your own averages in for your own products. And let's say that you are running with one of our competitors, and one of our competitors, for example, charges a 2% seller fee. And by the way, you can change this to per item if they have a, $10 per item fee, or if they have something else. Okay, so we'll just use 2% as the example. Now, again, most of these services are charging you for their buyers, and they keep the buyers, they own the buyers. They take those buyers away from you and basically use them to sell other auctions instead of keeping them for yourself. So they'll charge a buyer fee as well. Now, in some cases, you get to split that buyer fee, but other cases, they're charging the whole thing. So let's use a typical buyer fee, which is about 12%. So the 12% fee, they're raising the price of each ATV that's sold by 12%. So you know what the buyers are going to do. They're going to reduce their bid by that 12%. So you're actually making less money on each transaction because of that 12% fee. Now, I know people will say that's not altogether true. Maybe it's a percentage of that, but at the end of the day, it's still quite a bit. And let's say they have some other fees. Some of these services have user fees, for example. So let's say that user fee is $250 a month, or about $3,000 a year. Okay, so let's do the math. So here's what just happened. So you are losing about $700,000 a year in fees. Now, this is a big auction, right? This is a $5 million in sales auction. And their annual seller fee is $100,000 from the legacy software company, as much as your buyers are paying as much as $600,000 in fees with a 12% fee. So the net effective cost to this auction is $700,000. Now, there's people who will argue that this is not real, but what if you got to keep that fee? What if you got to keep the buyer fee? You could put this money right back in your till, and you might even be able to lower it and say, let's do a 5% fee to make our auction really desirable for our customers, and, make a nice even $250,000 instead of having the legacy auction software company make all the money. So you can see, even with a lower fee, reducing the fee, making your customers happy, you have a really good chance of making $300,000 to $400,000. And then even after the selling lane fee, and the selling lane fee, as we decided earlier, was a monthly. So if you do it monthly, it costs about almost $12,000 a year, or you can buy a one-time fee of $10,000 and you own it for the whole year. But either way, even after that fee, you're still ahead. So not a small number to take into consideration. In fact, our little calculator does a little joke here to show you, it could just be that you add a few more employees, or you give bonuses, or you replace those office chairs that you've been meaning to do, or you cover the cost of your coffee habit till the year 2048. And I have a few others in here, but most importantly, you're saving money. This is it. Just yearly, but monthly, as much as $29,000. Now let's do another example. Let's do a company like an estate sale who's doing, like 1,000 items a week. So about $4,000 a month, but the average price of each item is only $25. Okay, so we'll just do that for example, and let's keep the other fees the same. So yes, the savings is smaller because the auction overall value is smaller, but it's still $75,000 in savings just by going with going with a SaaS model, which is what's also known as monthly model for your auction fees. So you can buy selling lane for $1,000 a month or $10,000 for the year, and really save quite a bit of money, which is exceptional. Now, I've put some analysis on the bottom, and I'm trying to be funny here because it is a sort of comical what these companies are doing to you. I call them the auctioneers, the wannabes, and the rubber chickens. Take a look at this, because I think what you'll find is you'll end up wanting to go with the solution, which is Selling Lane, which is a zero commission auction platform. We charge a flat fee monthly, and that's all you're going to pay. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for listening. Really, really appreciate your business and look forward to the opportunity to helping you grow your auction.